Welcome back to Jeff Talks Hoops. The Celtics just absolutely mauled the Wizards in Washington. Tatum and Brown combined for 69 points. Let's watch these highlights back. Jalen got it going early and often here. Nice strong take there. Flexing after the first bucket of the game. I like that energy. And Washington played a lot of Ole defense tonight, and that was a prime example of it there. Poole just letting Tatum spin off him. Got the three on the other end. And Jordan Poole had some highs in this game and a lot of lows. I'm sure we'll see some of them in the highlights later. Porzingis, Wes Unseld Jr. made the interesting decision with Daniel Gafford out not to roll with a big body whatsoever at center. He played Denny Avdija at the 5 against a 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis, and it worked about as well as you would expect. Porzingis looked like a varsity player going against JV guys there. I mean, come on. Celtics were just abusing that, as they should have, early and often. And we're not going to see a ton of Wizards highlights in this, but I like Tyus Jones. I think Corey Kispert does some things well. Porzingis, if you're a big man like Porzingis, a big body like that, great take by Jaylen Brown. If you can establish a catch with both feet in the paint, then the defense is already lost to an extent. If you're a defender, as a great fadeaway from Tatum there. Jalen with a pull-up. So we'll get back to Porzingis quickly. Jaylen Brown's an interesting case where if you're a player dribbling into those pull-ups, you tend to want to pull up with your offhand guiding the ball into your shot. Jaylen Brown's an interesting case as he hits a side step 3 there, where it feels like he might almost be better pulling into shots with his right hand guiding that ball up. That is not something you see very often. Just interesting to note. And this play was all sorts of weird. I would have loved to see Al Horford finish that dunk, but he got the steal and finished it anyway. Jalen throwing it off of some guy's face, Pritchard mossing a dude, and then throwing a lob to Horford. Everything about that was Shaqtin' a fool. Clear offensive foul there, but hey, Danilo Gallinari, the revenge game, had this game circled against the Celtics, and it worked out how it worked out. And Tatum, he didn't have as many as Jalen. Jalen had 36. He had 33, but Tatum shot it much more efficiently than he did. I thought his shot selection was better overall, and it's fair to say Jalen started forcing it, and the defense is just, it's so horrible. This is disgusting. If I was Wes Unseld Jr., I would have these guys running sprints during timeouts for how awful this defense is. Derek White pulling. The shooting coach that worked with Derek White 2 off seasons ago, following Boston's finals appearance, as that was an absolutely beautiful combination into the step back by Jalen. But that shooting coach needs a raise, something. Obviously not a raise because he's working for himself, but he needs to be credited more. I need to find out who that was. Who? Kristaps. Because that man did wonders for Derek White. Bully ball there. And look at this, man. Look at this. Drew Holiday is allowed to catch the ball, and there is one defender in the paint. Come on, Washington. It doesn't matter how big the offensive player is. As a defender, if you allow the player that you are guarding to catch the ball with 2 feet in the paint, you've already lost to an extent. You need to fight to push that guy to at least get 1 foot out of the paint to give yourself a shot. Jalen. Scorched earth. Avdija. I like Avdija's game. Maybe I've been saying his name wrong this entire time. My apologies, Denny. O'Shea Brissett, I would have liked to see him play, and the Ole defense continues there. I would have liked to see O'Shea Brissett play a little bit more in the first half of this game. The Celtics bench is concerning me. I think it's fair to be concerned about it right now. Because Peyton Pritchard is not looking like how he looked in the preseason, which is understandable to an extent, but he looks like a shell of that guy. And it's a confidence thing. Jalen gets it going with a running righty hook. That is not a shot maybe I've ever seen him take in a Celtics uniform, but why not? Denny. But Peyton Pritchard's not playing well. Sam Hauser, if he doesn't have his shot, is virtually useless out there because he can't even be a decoy with how he's shooting it right now. Luke Cornett didn't play much in this game. He's not giving them anything. Neemias Queta, I would like to see him get some run, but he was out tonight. And, I mean, Tatum catches that ball. All he has to do is jab to create enough separation. Kyle Kuzma did some good things tonight, though. That's about as positive as I could be about a Wizards player. Good feed from Kristaps there for the and one for Tatum. And Kristaps isn't a fantastic passer. He's not going to blow your socks off, but he is a more than capable passer. Jrue Holiday, serving as the fourth or fifth option tonight, but still managed to do his thing, picked his spots. That is an incredibly tough fadeaway with Tyus Jones swiping down at that ball. Tatum has to keep it high. We know with Tatum's release, he wants to start from a lower position on his body. But because Tyus was sweeping down there, he had to kind of keep that high, adjust midair, and still made it look effortless. We got the bench in here now, and this is when Washington started to make a little bit of a run. And obviously this game was never in reach for the Wizards, but still. Boston has a TPE that they can work with after signing and trading Grant Williams to the Mavericks. And you have to think that Brad Stevens, there's not a ton of urgency to utilize it right away, but you've got to start thinking about it. And I'm likely looking to use that TPE to acquire a rotational big man. Delano Bannon doesn't give the Celtics anything. Bilal Coulibaly, going to be a name to watch in a couple of years. Seems to be slightly more polished than I thought he was entering the league. So this game ended up being 126-107. It was never in risk of Boston actually giving up this lead. But when all of Boston's stars went to the bench, it got really, really ugly. And that was always going to be the concern with this Celtics team. They were very top heavy. Their top six is the best top six of any team in the NBA. That is indisputable, in my opinion. But after that, it gets a little shaky because you got guys like Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser who have flashes. They've shown flashes, but they haven't necessarily put it together consistently. The Celtics, in the postseason, you only need a 7-man rotation, sometimes 8 in the earlier rounds. The Celtics right now have 6 and a group of fringe guys who can give them spot minutes somewhat consistently between Pritchard, Hauser, O'Shea Brissett, Luke Cornett maybe. Maybe they get something from Neemias Queta, but this guy's a two-way contract player. So it's not like I'm expecting a ton from him. I just want to see what he looks like running with the regulars. So the Celtics, this was a blowout win. I'm not going to overreact to anything the bench did, but I think it's time for Brad Stevens to start exploring ways to upgrade the 8th best player on your roster, the 9th best player on your roster, and I'm interested to see what he does. I'll be back reacting to another video over the next couple days.